Welcome to Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. Next to last game of the Mavs season, the regular season home finale tonight against the Denver Nuggets. The Mavs trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, but that is all a side story. The main story is this man, the all-time leader in Cowboys passing yards, touchdowns, quarterback rating, Tony Romo and family in the building. But in many ways, almost everyone in this building tonight considered the Cowboys quarterback to be like family. He will be honored by the Mavericks tonight at American Airlines Center. Welcome to Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. Keith Russell, courtside with Derek Harper. Derek, you can feel the buzz.
I can, and it's a good buzz. I mean, anytime you're gonna do something like this, I mean, you're gonna have a buzz.
Saw a lot of walk-up tickets for the first time.
Absolutely. It reminds me of when Mark Cuban first took over the Dallas Mavericks. He actually signed Dennis Rodman, and it was the same situation where there were a lot of walk-up people buying tickets just to see the worm, and this is similar to that. It's called guerrilla marketing, is what it's called.
I learned something new.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're in the midst of guerrilla marketing.
Yes.
Tony Romo taking the court tonight in warm-ups. I must add, in warm-ups. He will not play tonight, but taking part in today's shoot-around at AAC with his son Rivers. While Tony did not get a chance to be honored by the Cowboys yet, playing 5 games in the last 2 seasons, and his football career coming abruptly to an end, always a fan of the Mavs, being part of the team for a day, too good for Tony to turn down.
Well, when Coach called and Dirk texted, I think it's a, kind of a no-brainer to say yes.
We're honored to have Tony with us. He is stood for all the things that great Dallas athletes stand for. Great competitor, winner, plays hurt, the whole thing.
Standing here today, I feel a little embarrassed, to be honest, just in the sense of that, you're lucky enough to be in a position, that someone cares enough to do something to honor you. So I'm a lucky guy.
Mavs coach Rick Carlisle says he considers Romo to be a friend. And that's not the only friends number 9 will have in the stands tonight. All you've seen so far coming into AAC, look at it, putting on a number 9 jersey. Jerseys flying on everywhere. Tony, thanks for the memories. I'm sure that will be the sentiment tonight at American Airlines Center and the next to last game of the Mavericks season. Your memories of Tony Romo, Derek Harper?
Well, when I think Tony Romo, I think a guy that's unappreciated, to be perfectly honest with you, Keith. He had a great career, and everybody talks about the lack of playoff appearances, the lack of winning championships, all of those different things. But it takes everybody to win a championship. It's not about one person. But if you look at his individual full body of work, he's been fantastic as a quarterback for a long time. Great athlete, and obviously a beloved person here in the city of Dallas. And I think it's a great honor for Tony Romo.
Every Cowboys great and now an NBA great, Derek Harper, saying Tony Romo was not appreciated enough. Derek, it's so hard to win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
Should the lack of a Super Bowl title be held against his legacy?
I don't think so. It probably will be when you start talking about the all-time greats. I think one of the things that stands to the forefront is winning a championship. That's what everybody is judged by. That's how you gauge greatness, is whether or not you're able to do that. Wasn't able to do it. Roger Staubach did it. Troy Aikman did it. He wasn't able to do it. But I don't think it takes away from him being the all-time leader in passes and yardage and all of those different things. I mean, the guy had a great career and deserves this night.
He's definitely going to win over the hearts of everyone tonight. Former Dallas Maverick, part of the NBA team that won the championship in 2011, says Tony could have been a basketball player if he wanted that as a career. They were part of the all-county team in high school in Wisconsin. It's time for our Mavs Game Day trivia question. Rick Carlisle ranks 19th on the NBA's all-time list of winningest coaches. There are 3 former Mavs coaches ahead of Carlisle on that list. Can you name them? We can. We'll have the answer after the break. Welcome back to Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. Do you know the answer to our Mavericks trivia question? Rick Carlisle ranks 19th on the NBA's all-time list of winningest coaches. Can you name the 3 former Mavs head coaches ahead of Carlisle on that list? Don Nelson, Dick Motta, and John McLeod. More coming up on Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. You know, Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman says Romo is a good basketball player, but what does he look like in a layup line? We expect to bring that to you shortly. Welcome back to Mavs Game Day on TXA 21 outside American Airlines Center. But you don't want to be outside tonight. You want to be inside because Tony Romo will be honored by the Mavericks. He'll take part in pregame warm-ups. He'll be allowed to sit on the bench. Do you see that guy? He calls himself the Wrecking Ball with those big helmets he wears everywhere. He's got on a number 9 jersey as well. Welcome back. Down low, Keith Russell with Derek Harper. 16-year NBA career as a point guard, 13 seasons with the Dallas Mavericks. Yes, drafted 11th overall by the Mavs in 1983.
Had hair back then too, Keith.
So did I. But where has it gone? The enthusiasm hasn't gone anywhere in this building.
Well, anytime you associate yourself with the Dallas Cowboys and then you throw in the fact that it's a quarterback that we're talking about, you're going to have a buzz. You're going to have excited people here. And yeah, I think it's something that works both ways. It works for Tony, but it also works for the Dallas Mavericks and the fans that are here.
No one more excited than head coach Rick Carlisle. He's standing by with Mark Followell. Carlisle wrapping up his 9th season with the Mavs. Couldn't be happier to have number 9 on his team tonight.
Thanks, guys. Here with Rick Carlisle as the Mavs get ready for their final home game. Fan appreciation night here as the Mavs take on the Denver Nuggets. Rick, you've got a very special opportunity to honor a Dallas-Fort Worth sportsman. Tony Romo's had a great career with the Cowboys, and you guys are honoring him tonight. What's the experience been like for you today being around him, and what's your feeling about his viewpoint of the experience today?
Well, you know, this is a guy that's truly touched by this gesture. That's very clear. He's very sincerely grateful that our franchise would want to do this. This is a guy that's truly one of the best competitors in the history of the Metroplex. A guy that's played hurt, that's really stood up and showed as much integrity as you could possibly show this past year, you know, as a sportsman in a tough situation with a young quarterback that was playing well. And so, you know, he's bowed out and gone the direction of TV, but, you know, we feel very strongly about him because we all at the Mavericks have such great respect for him, and he's become a trusted friend of ours and a big supporter. So we're thrilled to have this opportunity. You know, we want it to be tactful and respectful, which I believe it will be. There's not going to be an empty seat in the house. That's pretty clear. And so I'm looking forward to the moment where he gets introduced as a starter for the Mavs, even though he won't be a starter. Right. He's not signed to play. But, you know, it's pretty cool if you're an NFL player and you go through shoot around, you're on the scout team and shoot around, and you're out there banging in shots on the white team with Dirk, and then, you know, you come in at night and you got a shooting time, and, you know, you're going to go through layup lines and the whole thing. So, I know he's very appreciative of it, and you know, we want this to be special.
Should be a special night. Thanks for the time, Rick. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Rick Carlisle with us. Let's go back now for more of Mavs Game Day.
Rick Carlisle, Mark Followell, Keith Russell, Derek Harper. We're all waiting on number 9 to hit the court. And we'll bring it to you live right here on Mavs Game Day on TXA 21 when it happens. Now, 2 of the greatest athletes to grace this area, Dirk Nowitzki, set to play in year number 20 next season for the Mavs, and Tony Romo leaving the Cowboys after 14 great seasons. But so, Tony Romo, you'll see him sitting courtside at Mavs games. He loves the game of basketball, and he loves Dirk Nowitzki, the king of the court. Now 7th all-time in games played in NBA history, and this season became just the 6th player in NBA history to score 30,000 points. Tony Romo, well aware of the place Dirk holds in this city and amongst the best to ever play the game.
They don't make them like Dirk, I can tell you that. he'll be the greatest Maverick who's ever played for the next 150 years. There's not going to be a guy, gets close to that. But there's an argument to be made. He's right in the discussion of a top 5 in the NBA. Anybody who's been around him knows that you're in the presence of something special. I think the young guys on this team know that, and they don't take that for granted. And I joked with them that, when I was coming out here, they were just trying to get younger because he's the only one who's actually older than me in sports. So.
All right, so Dirk with the one thing to elude Tony, a championship. But Tony's going to feel like a champion tonight. Not only are the Mavs playing the Nuggets, not only the next to last game of the season is Fan Appreciation Night. And look at Dirk's tweet. Also honoring Tony Romo tonight. Come early, and you can watch him shoot some air balls in the layup line. Now from the layup line to the high five line. Look at this guy coming at the rear. Look at Mr. Romo. An awesome feeling, an awesome display. Tony Romo and an NBA warm-up. Tony Romo getting honored tonight at American Airlines Center. Backcourt side with Derek Harper. Derek, you're in a happy mood, man.
No, it's just fun. I mean, just the excitement around all of this. Obviously, you give the Mavericks a lot of credit. It's a great gesture to honor somebody that's going to move on with their career as a professional football player. And, I mean, Tony thinks that he can hoop. The only sad part about this is he's not going to check in to the game. I'd like to see him check in and see what he's working with more than anything.
I don't know if he could play point guard as good as this man plays point guard.
No comment, Keith.
Derek playing it clean. Meantime, Dirk Nowitzki, long an admirer of Tony Romo. Tony Romo, long an admirer of Dirk Nowitzki. Two of the greatest players in this city in quite some time. And they will be in that layup line together. So, Dirk, Derek, you said you wanted to see if Tony could really ball. Let me ask you a real question.
Yeah.
As a former NBA player, would you have wanted to see Tony Romo on the court? Do you think that would have been disrespectful to the game, as I've heard so many reports say around the nation?
Well, I think you have to look at really what's going on. It's basically that you're honoring Tony Romo. It's not about respect or disrespect, I don't think. I don't have a problem with what the Mavericks are doing here, simply because they're just appreciating one of their own in the city of Dallas, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys for a long period of time that's had a lot of success. Now, I don't play anymore, but I guarantee you these guys that the Mavericks are going to play with tonight, if they see Tony Romo out on that basketball court, they're going at it. He's going to be free game, and they're going to attack him, just like he's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
So Tony Romo coming out. Here he is following Dwight Powell. Derek Harper, it is deafening. It's deafening. I don't know what else to say.
He's beloved. Tony Romo is beloved in Dallas, plain and simple.
Everyone we talk to Hall of Famers Randy White. We talked to Nancy Lieberman. We talked to Tony Dorsett. We talked to Charles Haley. We're right now talking to Derek Harper. You heard the words of Rick Carlisle. Everyone and anyone knows what this man meant to the Dallas Cowboys. Well, did he go behind the back? Did he just go behind the back?
Well, he can do anything that he wants. This is his moment right now, Keith, here as a so-called NBA basketball player. So I expect to see some fancy stuff from Tony.
How much, with the extra intensity, do you think this does to juice up the current Mavericks? You think it provides them any extra juice tonight?
Well, it's hard to say. I know the Mavericks are going to be dealing with a lot of young players on the floor tonight, and I think those guys obviously excited the fact that Tony Romo is on the court with them, but they want to show, because what they're going to try and show tonight is going to be something for next year. So I think their focus is somewhere else opposed to Tony Romo being on the floor.
So while we're all fixated on Tony Romo, let's talk a little bit of basketball. Some of the guys that you've been excited about as we round out the Mavericks season, Derek, Salah Mejri and Dwight Powell. What excites you about those guys?
Well, I like Dwight Powell's athleticism. I mean, this guy actually, in limited minutes, has been able to really give Dallas a spark as a basketball player as far as rebounding, running the court, offensive rebounding, defending, all of those kind of things. Salah, he leads the league in charges taken. And those are possessions, Keith, so he's big from that perspective. And just to me, a tremendous rim protector, a guy that really gives you a lot of spark off of the bench, and a great backup for a long time in this league, I think.
Two of the promising young players for the Dallas Mavericks. Keep in mind, tonight they try to snap that 4-game losing streak, the penultimate game of the Mavs season, the next to last game of this campaign, the regular season home finale against the Nuggets, fan appreciation night, and you can already feel the appreciation for Tony Romo. Don't you dare go anywhere. We're back with more on Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. Welcome back to Mavs Game Day on TXA 21. We are courtside. Tony Romo is in the building, being honored on Fan Appreciation Night for the Mavericks. Last home game of the season, number 9, being paid tribute to something that has brought out more fans to American Airlines Center and something that has plenty of excitement in this building tonight. So far, Tony, his outside game may need a little work, but he is proficient inside 5 feet. Now, will Romo be looking like he's in slow-mo out on the court with NBA players? How's he feel in terms of his pace of play compared to the guys who do this every night?
These guys are all, I feel like they're all 7 feet tall, and they're all long and lean. I look like a turtle out there.
So, Tony Romo, is he making moves on Devin Harris? Devin Harris, did he hit that shot over Devin Harris? Devin Harris, if you remember, went to college in Wisconsin. Tony Romo, all county when he played in high school in Wisconsin. That was one-on-one at its finest. Now let's hear from the man who put this plan all together. Let's hear from Mavs owner Mark Cuban.
He's passed 2 million retweets, so he's getting all his free nugget. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. No, I'm not into gimmicks.
Dairy Queen was not a gimmick.
It was not. 917. That's how you make a curly Q and a soft ice cream with Dairy Queen.
What was about your conversations with Adam Silver on this topic?
I mean, I told him what I was going to do, and I said, find me if you don't like it.
What about the possibility of playing
Just what I just told you. But once he said that the contract wouldn't get approved, then that kind of killed that.
So
Adam was open. I mean, he's very considerate, and we had a long conversation. It wasn't just an immediate no. But it was more the lawyers just not wanting to set a precedent.
You've been surprised by the backlash and some of the criticism for...
Look, the greater the criticism, I haven't heard any other owners, I don't know, nor do I care, but typically in anything I've ever done, the more the media criticizes you, the smarter the idea, without exception.
This was a smart idea, kind of.
It was, look, if you ask yourself why people come to NBA games and you're honest, the number of people who come just to watch basketball be played, maybe 10% of the audience, 30%, 40% depending on the night, kids, and their parents that come with them. I've never ever, I mean, if you ask yourself about the times you went with a parent to a sporting event, the one thing that wasn't an issue is the quality of play. So, you've got to recognize that, particularly now, we're entertainment. We're always entertainment. We try to connect to our fans in every way we can. If you look at our videos, we're not self-important. We're very self-aware. and that starts with Dirk. And so, given the circumstance that we can have fun, what do you think I'm going to do? You know, anybody who's surprised that the first time we're under 500 in 17 years and I didn't do something fun with it, the first time we haven't been in a playoff race in 17 years, then you just don't know me.
Mavs owner Mark Cuban saying he's not worried about being criticized as having Tony Romo as part of tonight. A Tony Romo tribute right here. Mavs Nuggets, it's coming up. You don't want to miss the call. Mark Followell, Derek Harper courtside. The all-time leader in Cowboys passing. He is the